Welcome back to the Joe Show, where we may be streaming Radio GBX. My name is Joe. Joining us tonight is Michael.
Hi.
And my co-host Grace.
Hello.
So Michael, tell me, where are you from?
Where am I from? I'm from just Wisconsin in general. I've moved around a lot. And lived out in the country and in a city, and now, my primary residence is out in the country again. And now I'm here.
That's awesome. So what brings you to Green Bay?
Brings me to Green Bay. Well, college. And if you're going to ask me, why would I pick GV? It's because it was super cheap. And, yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great campus for what they offer too. I mean, added to affordability too.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have some great programs.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%.
What are you studying, by the way?
English writing. I have an emphasis in storytelling for writing, and I have a minor in fine arts. And I hope to go into a master's program for either English or fine arts, so then I could maybe teach people,
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, you're talking about teaching and stuff too. So some of your classes coming up. Are you looking forward to some of those?
Yeah. Okay. I have 4 classes. 3 of them are English related. One's, it's like grammar and stuff. So it's grammar. So I already know it's going to be kind of boring, but I hope the professor's cool. The professor can sometimes make or break the class.
Yeah.
And then I have one which is intermediate painting, but I am afraid that that's not going to be filled. Till this day, there isn't a professor in that role.
So what are they going to do?
What?
What are they going to do?
I have no idea. I think they're actually trying to. UW got rid of the theater program, right? I think they're trying to go after the arts, like the fine arts next. So, yeah, that might be a thing, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, same. But
I mean, we're all a liberal arts college for the most part too. I feel like the arts have a strong, especially appeal to Green Bay campus. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Environmental too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of art, tell me what got you into art? Kind of what inspires you to be an artist?
Okay. So this might already kind of go into kind of the deep end of my stuff, but I feel a lot, and over the course of a couple of years of just feeling a lot of negative stuff, I decided to maybe that I should put that energy into something, and by the time I already started doing like drawing, or just specifically drawing, which was a year and a half ago, to 2 years. Painting's been more recent. I haven't done much, but I decided to do that because I also had thoughts of story-wise, and I wanted to put this world or these worlds and these characters onto paper, because I felt like I needed, it's a need, not a want, but a need that I need to get these emotions out, because if you keep all of that in, not do anything about it, it could get worse. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, art's a great way to express that emotion too, and putting it into your artwork, and it's a good way to.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Joe Show. The last song you heard was Supermarket by Sinner and the Saint, here on Radio GVX. I'm here with my guest, Michael. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm going to pass the
Hello.
mic over to Grace and ask some questions here. She has some fun questions.
All right. Here's the fun segment of the show. I changed it up this time. So, Michael,
Yeah.
if you could be best friends with a character in any animated show, which would you choose?
Oh no.
First thing that pops in my head is SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or what have we been watching a lot lately? Regular show like Mordecai and Rigby. Like that's chaos, but that's my life.
What are your
There's a
favorite cartoons?
Those
Yeah.
are favorite cartoons.
Yeah, what are your favorites?
So I don't really have any. I don't
Okay.
remember much, but I do remember. There's a couple of them. There's a couple of characters in like something like Gravity Falls, like Seuss.
Yes, I forgot about Gravity Falls.
Seuss seems pretty chill. Even Uncle Stan, he seems like he'd be funny to be around. And of course the regular show characters are pretty cool. Pops is very sweet. And if I feel like if you're around him, you just kind of laugh because of his mannerisms.
Mm.
And then what else? Those are pretty famous cartoons.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones I can think of at the moment. But
All right. So I feel like we've had this conversation before, but what's the most random fact that you know? I know we've had this conversation.
the random fact that I know.
Yeah.
Moths can do backflips.
What?
Really?
That's
It's like a defense mechanism.
Huh.
There with some of them. Yeah, if they get threatened, they'll like fly.
Like actual fly, or
like-
do like just backflips?
Like a fly backflip, but like it vaguely resembles a backflip. I just think it's funny.
I did not.
That is funny.
And,
I'm just envisioning that right now.
And then there's a couple other things. It's really cute. But like rabbits or bunnies,
Mm-hmm.
right? When they get really happy, and then they'll like if you own one, and if they like jump, like suddenly, it's like, or they get the zoomies. They call it binkying apparently, and I just thought it
Aw.
was really cute. I know that there's I really like birds too. There's a bunch of numerous weird bird facts that I know, but I can't remember for the life of me right now.
Well, the one bird one that I can think of is what is it, like a flock of crows? I think, aren't they called like
A murder?
a murder? Yeah, that's the only like random bird fact I know.
Apparently, a group of owls is called a parliament.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And oh geez, birds are so cool. Oh, here's one. So hummingbirds.
Mhm.
In like I think it was like Southern American like Aztec mythology. They had a god of war or a god of the sun. And I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name, but he was seen as a hummingbird. That was his like animal, because hummingbirds are they're like Spitfires. They're very aggressive, and they're very kind of like warrior like.
Yeah.
If you look at them, they're brave. But,
All right. Are you ready for the next one?
mhm.
Okay. So, So I know that you are an artist and you like to draw and everything.
Mhm.
So that's where this question's gonna go. So do you have a dream venue that you would hope to see your art showcased in,
A dream venue.
or just anywhere in general if you don't have a dream venue?
I think having something animated completely. I think that's my that's as high as my dreams get for art. Um, style wise, I think there's a lot of people who really like old animation,
Mm-hmm.
like anime from like the 90s, early 2000s, and the way it looked. And if I were to have one of my things, specifically one story, if it were to be animated, um, I'd like it to be reminiscent of that, you know, that era of like animation style.
Yeah.
Um, but more advanced, like developed, same colors, very grimy, very like, well, not a lot of them are grimy like that, but I'm thinking like the first iteration of Hunter x Hunter. It was more dark,
Mm-hmm.
and that is something that intrigues me. Um, Animation, if I could even have something, I think it'd be really really cool to have like, you know how some artists have that like that one painting that kind of immortalizes them.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool to have something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, my next and my last one. I've asked this to like the last couple people you've had on your show. If you were planning a dinner party and you had 10 open seats, who would you pick to join you, whether they are alive or they are dead?
10 open seats.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anybody, right?
Yep, anybody.
Oh, jeez. Um,
Could be a musician, artist. If architecture is your thing, be an architect. It's kind of pretty open ended.
there's I don't know. I feel like there's a couple of people in that I'm friends with right now that I'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really big in the following of like certain musicians and artists. There's only very very few, just a very couple, just a little bit. My favorite musician is an artist called Chelsea Wolfe,
Okay.
and she makes very like weird but very emotionally like deep like um and like some of the stuff that she makes is, it just, I don't know.
It
I
resonates
kind of,
with you?
yeah, like I guess it's like it's just very very deep. Um, the instrumentals are for sure, and hmm, there'd probably be like, I feel like a majority of those spots would probably be people that I've went to college here with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't want to name names just for the sake of
Yeah.
um live and dead. Um, hmm.
I think it'd be interesting to have a conversation with Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Or Dave Grohl. That would be a very interesting dinner party. Oh my goodness.
Who's Dave Grohl?
Foo Fighters.
I
No.
don't listen to them at all.
He used to be the drummer of Nirvana too. Well, when Nirvana was a thing, but
Then there's also one. I think he died very recently, but the author of Berserk.
okay.
He he seemed so happy in the pictures, in his pictures, right? And I feel like most people know about like, as good as a series it is, it's pretty horrendous. like just with the depictions and stuff. Uh, but I'd like to kind of like, I just want to know like how, like, what what in your life, or like what caused you to write something like this, and like, so beautiful and so horrific in so many like different ways. um and I think it'd be interesting to see how much I'd relate with an artist like that. um and there might be a couple, let me think, like YouTubers or content creators like that. I I there's a there's a there's two, I mean, there's one that everybody knows about, and it's like Moist Critical or Charlie. I think it'd be really funny to talk, like, he just seems chill. I don't know. um uh he seems like he's a funny person, like in person. I just get that energy. And then there's this one other YouTuber. She's really really funny. At least I find her funny. I think she goes by Rin. And she's like an artist, like a drawing kind of thing. And she'll be talking about like the latest things going on in the art world sometimes, and like making fun of problematic artists in an amusing way. But yeah.
It's a very dynamic group you got going on, and your dinner party.
I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, I've asked this question a couple times, and it's interesting to see what people have to say. Like, obviously mine's probably gonna be all music, yours is gonna be friends and artists and YouTubers, and yours is probably gonna be the same, Joe. Probably. Give or take.
Welcome to Joe Show, where we may be streaming regular GBX. My name is Joe. Join me tonight, special local artist Michael.
Hi. It's funny. The song that just played, I didn't know. I know the artist. Um, I didn't know she had stuff out there. I'd say she's pretty damn good. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, we let all my songs in here are local artists.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
promote local artists just like you.
Yeah.
So talking about some of your art, so like describe what kind of an artist are you? What kind of art do you do?
I don't know what kind of artist I am really. I just kind of I guess like a lot of my stuff comes from like the stories I like write or make in my head. And it's like a big bank of like, it's crazy. It's like, oh, I have this like filing cabinet of just a bunch of like events that happen. Um and I have two of them right now. There was another one, but I lost interest. But I almost get obsessed with certain stories and then characters. Um and through that's how I make art. It's obsessive. Um and usually and I figured out recently, like, I kind of relate to just just a little bit, like somewhat, to some of the main characters, or some of the side characters. And I think that a lot of these people are parts of me, some positive, some negative. That's not to say that they are me, because like some of them are super dramatized. Like the one the one picture that was one of the first drawings I made. It's smoky, it's charcoal, it's wispy. Um, Probably see it on the stream, but
Yeah, I'll post it in the video
yeah,
later. But yeah,
like
good describing it for audio format for now.
it's like that character was one of the first characters I've ever made. And that story has been, I mean, it's even developing till this day.
How did that start?
How did it start?
Yeah.
It started back in high school. And it was a lot more. It was just extremely difficult, or not different. I think the earliest thing I could remember is that I had an idea of like, kind of like, in like fantasy, medieval fantasy, you have like a paladin, but it was a dark paladin that was that would just kill, and kill, and and because they thought that it was the right thing to do. And even though in the back of their brain, the back of their head, they knew that it was horrible, they couldn't come to terms with it. And then that character morphed and evolved, and now, you've got a character that's similar. Um, a character's name is, I mean, in that world is known kind of like a boogeyman. Is known as the Banshee. And that's because of their visage. No one knows what they look like, what gender, um, um, and the only thing that they know, it's like inspires like terror. Shows up in the visage of like a barn owl. Banshees, as a myth, come from barn owls. I can't remember what culture that originated from, um, but it's interesting to check out. Makes you wonder how many things people have seen back in the day, and then now they're like spirits, or or myths, or but this character is a kind of like an anti-villain, still horrible, still kills, um and kind of like, it's funny, he's kind of like the edgy amnesiac archetype. Um, but imagine you got a character who grows up in a horrible environment, and all their memories of their past life get taken out because they're pointless. I mean, you need to survive, right? And then this character gets trained to kill, basically, and cause as much pain as possible. And then you get brought into the world, and that story is a journey of this character coming to terms with what they've done, and who they are, and figuring out who they are. While there's a queen, um, a queen who is trying her hardest uh, to keep afloat one of the last remaining safe cities on the planet. And then you've got other minor characters. Like, a recent thing that I have is a recent addition, or kind of is a character called the Viper, um, who's on the opposing side, who would be on the quote unquote the good side, right? Because the main character comes from a group of people that's just led by something unimaginable, um, and and they're both kind of unstoppable forces. That's not to say that like the main character doesn't get hurt, but they have a they're protected by their visage. They also have a sword from way in the back. It's way in the past of that thing. It's in that story. It's a um, I guess I could get straight to the point because I'll just keep talking and talking and talking about it. But
Whatever way to describe it.
but the setting is a distant apocalyptic future where nature is taken over. The cities that you've once known are gone. So that means you might be able to find certain relics of the past, like firearms, but firearms are exceedingly rare. Most of them are rotted away, and sometimes you can find stuff that kind of hint towards a past before what had leads this group of people, this horrible group of people that I'd like to call the nameless. They're all tortured warriors, basically. But there's a couple of like really really horrendous people that are in there, just like kind of like the archetype of people who really enjoy murdering people. Like you're of course you're gonna find a couple of those in a group like that. But like his sword is like some kind of obsidian thing, right? And it reacts to his emotions. So, but it's so pent up on his anger and his fear, right? And that's how it gets sharper and more durable. Obsidian is strong, but it's brittle. And it's super super sharp, right? So then you've got a character who can just cleave through anything. You're very dexterous, and then you got the Viper who's this large, like kind of like hunk of a man, who's hard to knock down, and he's got this flame bladed sword that's coated in poison. And it gets really anime because it's like when somebody gets cut by that, it's like their arms start to kind of get really messed up immediately. So then when these two forces collide, it's like one knows of each other because they're infamous, and the other one's like, oh, okay, like this is a match between who can get the first hit off. Because one shot, just you get hit by their weapon once, it's over. But ultimately, that story, if I could sum it up in 2 sentences, it is about a son who is going throughout the world, and um, they don't know who they are, and they've done a lot of horrible things. Wait, let me restart that. It's a story about a son traversing through a broken and shattered world, trying to figure out who he is, while there's a mother who rules over a kingdom, and she's dealing with normal kingdom stuff, but then also she's trying to atone for she never got over the death of her son years and years and years ago. And that's the story. And there's a second picture or a thing that's not finished yet that's in the work. And it's like it's more rendered out. It's like a character who has like their hair is like all over, and they have like a gauntlet, and it looks like they're holding a sandwich, but it's not a sandwich. But I think it's really funny. I think it'd really be funny just to draw a sandwich in there, but it's that mask. So that's the character. And one really really big thing is and that's that character. A thing that I relate to that character a lot too sometimes is that, well, I also want that character to be very androgynous. It's definitely a man, or they're definitely a man, but very even when you look at it, even when you hear his voice, you have a hint, but you can't really pick up on it. And yeah.
But this one you're telling me, you're still working on it. I'll have it displayed in the video too.
Mhm.
But you said you're still working on some of the part of like the face is really detailed, and even some of the hand I could see really detailed, like like some claws or something he has too.
Yeah. No, I got to do a lot to that actually.
Okay.
That thing's not even. I don't even think it's half done.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the first time I actually did that gauntlet, that like clawed taloned gauntlet. Because he's seen as like a barn owl or like a banshee. And there's a lot of things that come with that. Like he's very bird-like. So is the true antagonist, but that's something I don't want to reveal. Just for like because I want people to figure it out or find out for themselves.
Are you planning to add some color to this one too?
Probably not.
Just leave it black and white.
Black and white, yeah. Definitely shading. I'm in the process of learning shading. And like kind of like color theory through that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's. I don't know what else to say,
I mean, I like it so far. It definitely, there's a lot of detail in the eyes and the lips, especially. Like, I'm zooming in and looking at it, and I'm like, the shading. I know you're learning, but like the shading looks really good so far. And I like even though it's not finished, the detail on the hair, how it kind of like, not frizzy, but it, you know what I mean? Like the curls and the frizziness sticks out, and I think that's really cool. And I can't wait to see when you have it finished, because I'm sure it's going to be epic.
Yeah.
It already looks epic, even though it's, you're not even done yet, but the detail is there.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I do want to add to the mouth and the nose. I actually help. The nose is not mine. But the mouth isn't. But I changed it. It's kind of like a disgusted snarl.
Yeah, I see
when
that.
It was like more like blank. And yet, even though I'm a very very new into this world of drawing. And noses are like. I honest to God find noses more difficult than hands.
They are. They are.
And like yeah. I don't know. I just kind of found it funny because there's that stereotype or idea that like an artist's one who draws like humanoid or humans are their biggest enemy's hands. But I've kind of grown accustomed to figuring out how to deal with hands. But noses, no. Lips, I've gotten a lot better. Still needed help, but I, through all that, I was able to match. At least I think I was able to match what's done, to those things, so it doesn't look out of place. And I think that was a very, very good practice for me, and I really appreciate the person who helped me do that, or helped me with the nose and the mouth on that drawing specifically. Yeah, and then yeah, it's just I can't wait to get that done. I think it's going to be pretty big.
How long have you worked on it so far?
I don't really know. Like, I want to say under 10 hours.
Okay. How much more hours do you think you're still gonna put into it?
I have no idea, honestly. Yeah, I just because of like work, life and stuff, it gets really hard for me to sit down and finish it or work on it. And it's just tired as hell. And yeah, especially since the way I work too is I'll listen to music that that relates and tells the stories of characters, and then I'm an emotional person and I feel a lot. So when I'm working and I listen to this music, just because just for me to get through the day, because the way my brain works is I can't stand like meaningless work. Like I need my brain to be working on something, right? So then I get like emotionally exhausted by the time I get home. And then it's like I don't even really want to listen to the music. And then I don't want to work on it.
Mm.
But I had to get over that somehow. But
Yeah.
yeah, kind of a little, I guess, not rant, but you know.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Is there any like music that you wanna say that like inspires you? Like some good songs that you recommend?
Yeah. So, geez, it's really funny because that character in particular, like if you don't know that character like I do, he can most definitely come off as like a corny edgelord, which is really really funny. Um, and then sometimes he gets goofified because of just dumb stuff that I just don't handle well. Or just something that happens like it looks like he's holding a sandwich in that unfinished drawing. But there's a couple of Deftones songs that tell that story. The biggest one is Change.
Mhm.
And Change to me is almost like everything in the story, and the story in itself talking to that character directly. So that includes the antagonist, just the world, like everything, like for instance, it was there's like a line in Change, where the musician, he's saying, I tore off your wings and then I laughed, right? That's kind of like the antagonist talking. Because the story, there's a lot of bird-like things to it. He's trying to reclaim his wings, kind of in a metaphorical sense, get his freedom back. He wants to separate himself from the antagonist ultimately, but he just doesn't. He doesn't understand, but he feels it. But and and then there's another one called "Beware" from Deftones. That song is the way I see it. It's dark. It's like drowning somebody. And it feels to me like anger, but like scary anger. It's like unapologetic. And a part of it is about, I think, delving too deep into the habits, um and losing yourself to them. And the ending of that, of Beware, when it gets like really heavy, and then at the end it's like the clock is ticking and then you hear the crickets. Um and that reminds me, because that character is synonymous with, funny enough, even though he has an alter exterior of like a barn owl, right? He's really synonymous with butterflies and moths, um due to like transformation. And then that's where it goes into around the fur. Um, it sounds kind of sexual, at least when I heard it. But then when I really started like listening to and then I even looked it up, it's about, at least what made sense to me. It's about trying to not go too much into outworldly appearances, shallowness. To not, it's kind of like the whole idea of judging a book by its cover. Um, and then I think that might be it. And then another thing, actually, for a completely different character. I remember I talked about Chelsea Wolfe before, but I ran into her music a couple months ago, and it's really funny because her music, and even the way she looks, is similar. Like the music is on point with one character that has been with me for a couple of years, who actually originally started out as a D&D character. And she's like a witch kind of archetype. And Wolf's music feels like some of her music feels like that character, like to the dot. It's crazy. Um and the time, damn.
No, you can.
And the that's the one character of the painting. I know the face is a little wonky, but it's very red, very black red.
Oh yeah.
Um, and that's how I got that's how I got my thing. My little
Oh yeah.
symbol is from her. Um, I I think, we all go through. Everyone goes through their different kind of like leveling up processes, I guess, like journeys. So then they can change, right? Um, and I relate to that character the most right now. Um, I could talk about that character for a while too, like I just did with the other one, but I guess I'd say that she's kind of like a jester. Like um I guess, excuse my language, but uh I guess she's like a funny dickhead with like she's hard to pin down. Um she can either be dreadful and terrifying, or even like loving, or even just, like how she puts herself out into the world for people to view her, which is like that jester, that trickster, that um that minor inconvenience to those around her. And and um and and in her story, and not that she's actually not the main character of this different story. She's another main character that shows up a little later. Um, but she's the same person as in that painting, as the one that another one that I have that's probably going to be shown. Or not a painting, a drawing with like markers and stuff, where it's like a woman with black hair, little flames are on her head, and then there's another woman with a gun with silver hair. The silver haired woman is the main character, and her energy is someone who feels a lot, who's trying to come to terms with that, and then she runs into this woman that's probably not all quite right, which is that witch. And yeah, it's kind of them, like the main character is sent to kill her. But when she comes to it, it's like, because the main character's role is the way that world works is that death isn't working correctly. And I don't know if anyone's played Bloodborne, but actually I took inspiration from Bloodborne. And things, creatures, people just start morphing, or just going mad. And the main character, her goal is to hunt things that defy the natural order of death. And the gun magically inscribes names of the next target. So then it inscribes the name of the witch, the true name of the witch, which, funny enough, was actually the witch's doing. She contorted the gun to do that, and through that is to infer that that witch is not all what she seems. Um, she's more in control of everything than she even realizes. And yeah, and I guess the symbol thing.
Oh yeah, you got the symbol on that one.
It's like it's like a bleeding moon. And I like the moon. It's really pretty. And then there was something that kept coming up, which was a blood moon. And that character is related to the moon, and and she's got a sinister thing. Like something happens at one point, and where when it's like kind of at its climax, and I want this to be animated, but something really crazy happens, right? And the witch, she I don't know how to. It's like unnatural. She does some really not great magic, and like causes the moon to like just start seeping stuff onto herself, to like blood and stuff, to kind of uh I guess I don't know if I'd want to reveal that, but it's to empower herself, um to undertake a task. But yeah, there's that weirdness. But yeah, I guess. Do you guys have anything for me? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, both these they showed us are both really detailed, and I'll show an image on for anyone else listening to. But and then your symbol, that's like your new symbol, and that's kind of where it came from.
I think
And, like that's kind of your new signature.
I think
Pretty
that's
cool.
how. I think that symbol is probably what I'll use to brand myself.
Yeah,
And it's just I like it. It's simple.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. Is there anything else that I guess needs explaining? Have I talked too much? Have I talked so much to the point?
No, no, you're good.
Like
You can keep talking about whatever else you want to talk about. I mean, kind of what you talked about too. So all these characters you made and kind of stories. Would you want to like go somewhere and like maybe you talk maybe animation, a book, like
yeah.
you can go somewhere and kind of like grand scheme like where would you want to go? What would you want to do? Produce with it?
Definitely animation. With both of them, that's the highest thing that I'd like to get to. Um, uh, I am trying to write, but it's very difficult for me. Um, and I'm just you got to get past that the biggest obstacle ever, which is literally just going and doing it for the first time, or not the first time, but just getting up and just doing it, right? And I even wanted to do it in like comic manga style. I'm actually trying to train myself into uh, I guess at some point being able to put that out there for people to see and being like, oh, this seems interesting. I could have him actually get a team and then make this into a comic or a manga. I think that would be really fun. Um, and ultimately, I just want these things to be out there. I want that stuff to be out there. I want to. I also want people to know that when they look at that, I want some people to relate to some of the things that I do, and I hope they do. Um, and I'd be knowing that there's going to be people that are definitely not going to like my stuff, which I'm not going to say no. That's valid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to each is their own. Yeah. For my process, I think I already talked about that, right? It's just emotion. When I paint, I just let that brush do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of has a mind of its own sometimes, but yeah.
That's the beauty
Yeah.
of art. Turn it into whatever you feel like.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right or no wrong. That's same with music and anything in the arts. You can't go wrong with what you're doing. You do what you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool that you like think really deeply and like you create it just kind of just how you feel, but you also create like a whole story and kind of, you know, character and who you're trying to like, you know, create. So that's cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely put a lot of thought into it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So much so to the point where, you know, I have to get it out. Like, I have to put it on paper somehow. Don't want to forget, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like you said too, art is a healthy way to get out certain emotions that you couldn't necessarily explain otherwise too.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's the other beauty of art, is expressing yourself, and all you can do is, you know, how you were feeling when you were creating that piece, but then when you have others look at it, they see it in a different way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely prepared for that. Like, oh, it's so funny. So like Deftones, it reminds me. I didn't figure this out until like recently, but apparently Deftones is like a horny band. And I'm like, I did not feel that. And I've listened to so much
They're
of them.
explicit lyrics.
Like, yeah, but even then, like, I'm not like, I don't see the intimacy. Like, I do see it in there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not.
It's like up to interpretation. Kind of.
It's not like lustful intimacy, which other people tell me. I see it as a lot of the stuff that I at least listen to them is very like a knot in your chest, like sad and angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's funny because I don't know, it's just relating to that, you know. People will view your things differently as to what, you know, you wanted people to view them. So you have to get over wanting people to see your things a certain way. I feel like this is especially true with music. But
speaking of music, so you did make some music before. I mean, we didn't bring you to show, but you had some experimental stuff you worked on. If you wanted to share about any of that.
Experimental, yeah. It's extremely experimental. Like first time experimental, like going into like BandLab or something. Like a software and just messing around with stuff that I did not understand. And then I actually made something kind of cool. But it's not even like complete. It was like there's a theme song. I think it's from a movie called Sicario. It's called The Beast, right? Where it's like you're being hunted, like you're, you know, like a kind of like a dreadful, and that's kind of what I relating to that one bird-like character that I've been talking about. I think that was probably their theme song or something that I tried to make. Not anymore, but it's like imagine you're being hunted by that character, and you know you feel that the you know kind of just the dread of being hunted down. Your life's in danger, and you know the experimental part of that song. I had it was an instrumental without lyrics, but there was like it had like birds of prey in the background and like just a faintness like of like birds chirping, and I thought that was really cool. And yeah, maybe it'll be out there, maybe people hear it, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
I mean, definitely, I got very suspenseful vibe. Like if you make it into an animation, that's something you could expand and kind of use that as like a theme song or something for the characters, like a motif when they enter.
Yeah, no, and if that happened, like, oh my god, like if I got this stuff animated, oh, how I'd love to be able to like contact like a band or something, like Deftones even, and being like, oh, here's this deal. Do you want to? Can I use this for this? That would be so cool. But the chances that are happening, oh my! But yeah, like kind
Maybe
of get
one day.
excited thinking about it. What?
Yeah, maybe one day keep working.
Mm-hmm.
Get there.
Just gotta, keep working on it.
Like I said, the hardest thing, you just gotta do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put, one foot forward and keep moving.
Yeah.
Keep working on your craft, I think.
Mm-hmm. But
I mean, you've already come a long way so far being at school here.
yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
What do you think some of your experiences so far at Green Bay?
Green Bay.
As an art student, English student studying.
It was.
Like, have you feel like you learned a lot or had a lot of good experiences with any of your projects?
It's with positivity and negativity. It's been a roller coaster.
Okay.
Just in general. I didn't, to be honest with you, I haven't learned much academically. I feel like the reason why I went here was to actually increase my social skills, which at the time were absolutely horrendous. I was definitely corny as hell when I came to college. And I think we had, a lot of us have those experiences where you like look back, and sometimes for me it's like it could be like a week ago, and I'm like why did I do that? Why did I say that? Like, but the learning experience socially has been hard, but it's been nice. I've come a long way. At least I'd like to think. And I'm more aware of people and the way they work. And I'm thankful for that. But now I'm really excited to close this chapter here. I want to move on. And yeah,
Looking forward to graduating or just future plans? Like,
both.
anything in the future, like 10 years, 5 years? What is your plan? What are you thinking?
Master's program.
Okay.
If I can, one overseas, and then yeah, I think it'd be great to experience something overseas.
Where overseas are you possibly thinking?
I have no idea. I guess anywhere. Not anywhere like dangerous, of course. Like I walk outside and then all of a sudden I'm in a room with a towel over my head.
Because when knowing you and the conversations we had and that the art that you create, like my brain automatically thinks somewhere in Japan.
Japan.
That's what I think, but
I
don't know.
No.
No.
No. I haven't put much thought into that one, but I'm thinking like Ireland.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that general area.
Somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe. But yeah, I think it'd be very good to be truly alone. Just you.
Mm-hmm.
And like
how
nature,
are you gonna survive?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And you and like nature, just
just in general.
everywhere, yeah.
Like just being somewhere so far away from your support, so then it's just you. I feel like that would cause somebody to grow up really quickly, and my heart just tells me to leave here. So, yeah, but excited for that. I just gotta do it.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Graduate, see where a master's program takes you, and baby steps.
Yeah.
That's what life is.
Yeah. I mean, just college here, just all about learning and experiencing, and getting those social interactions, college experience. Right now you're there. You're right.
Yeah.
You never thought you'd be.
No,
Yeah.
never.
So I mean, just good to get those opportunities and just see where they take you.
Yeah. It's really funny too because I know like a year ago I would have came here and I would have been like really like anxious, right, about being corny. But to be honest with you,
You
I
find your
don't
squad.
care.
You find your squad of people, and your experience in college changes, and that's speaking from my own experience being here at Green Bay.
No, I'm like no, I get you. Like but I'm like right now I'm like talking about like on air, like never thought I'd do this, and it's kind of like I've gotten less, or I've gotten more indifferent about the way people view me, but to a safe degree, because it's important to have that with you still. Can't really grow if you're not self-aware.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Welcome back to Joe's show. The last song you heard was "Lost of Humanity" by Just the Hubcap. Here on Radio GBX. Just want to say thank you, Michael, for joining us tonight and having some good interview questions.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun. Thank everyone for listening and joining us tonight.
Bye.
Now the show is over.
No.